At the end of Willow Lane stood the House of Shadows. Locals avoided it, crossing the street or quickening their pace as they passed. Children told stories of shadows moving behind the windows, but no one had seen anyone enter or leave in years. One evening, a traveler found himself lost as night fell. His phone had died, and the winding roads led him in circles. Rain began to fall, soaking through his jacket. When he saw the old house, it felt like a strange relief. The gate creaked open, its rusted hinges resisting. The overgrown path swallowed his footsteps as he approached the front door. He knocked, though he knew no one would answer. When the door eased open on its own, he hesitated, but the rain drove him inside. The interior was dark, with a damp chill that cut to the bone. The traveler moved slowly, his breath visible in the stagnant air. The rooms were empty, but signs of life lingered. A cup half filled with water on a windowsill, a blanket draped over a chair, a clock on the wall that still ticked. He found a small living room, and sat in an armchair by the cold fireplace. His plan was simple: wait out the storm and leave by morning. But as he sat, the room seemed to shift. Shadows lengthened, stretching across the walls. He blinked, and the room returned to normal. Time passed strangely. The rain drummed on the roof, but inside, everything was still. He glanced at the clock, it hadn't moved. The hands stayed locked at 3:17. He checked his watch, but it too had stopped. A sense of unease crept in. He stood and moved through the house, trying to find a way back to the front door. But every hallway led to another room, each more unfamiliar than the last. The furniture changed, the wallpaper shifted colors, and windows revealed views of places he had never seen. He opened a door, expecting the front porch, but found a bedroom instead. The bed was neatly made, its blankets smooth and untouched. On the nightstand sat a framed photo. He picked it up and felt a chill. The picture was of him, sitting in the armchair, staring into the cold fireplace. Panic set in. He ran back to the living room, but when he arrived, the chair was empty. His own voice whispered his name soft and close. He spun around, but the room remained empty. The walls seemed to close in, the shadows growing thicker, darker. He ran to the window, but the view outside had changed. Now it showed an endless forest, stretching under a twilight sky. He banged on the glass, but no sound came. The house twisted around him, doors leading nowhere, hallways looping back on themselves. His own footsteps echoed in ways they shouldn't. He called out, but his voice was swallowed by the dark. In the end, he returned to the armchair. Exhausted, defeated, he sat down. The shadows gathered around him, and his vision dimmed. As his eyes closed, the room settled back to how it had been, dusty, empty, still. The next morning the rain had stopped. The house at the end of Willow Lane remained as it always had, silent, vacant. But if you looked through the window, you might see a figure sitting by the fireplace, just another shadow among many.